Hey guys, I'm Leila. Today we are in Raid Shadow Legends and continuing along with the whole Star Wars X Raid Shadow Legends collab. Today we're going to be talking about Princess Leia and Han Solo. So again, guys, keep in mind, because it's Star Wars month, this is just something kind of fun that we were doing. It kind of just, AI concepts of if some of our favorite Star Wars characters were in Raid, what would their kit be? What would they look like? What faction would they belong in? And make sure to drop me a comment down below on who you guys want to see. So last week we had done Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, if you guys had missed this. Today is going to be Princess Leia and Han Solo. So let's start with Princess Leia. So I did ask AI if Princess Leia was a champion in the mobile game Raid Shadow Legends, what faction would she belong in and what would her kit be like? Also important that I made the point of make this still fit in the current game branding, because again, AI sometimes can go off the rails if you aren't specific. So with that, AI said if Princess Leia were to be reimagined as a champion in Raid Shadow Legends, she would need to seamlessly fit into the game's dark fantasy aesthetic, while still embodying her iconic traits: leadership, resistance, diplomacy, and combat ability. Here's a breakdown of how she would be integrated, keeping true to Raid's lore and mechanics. So they have her name as Leia, Rebel Emissary, and they imagine her as a legendary magic support legendary champion in the Sacred Order. So the justification for why AI chose Sacred Order was the Sacred Order is built around ideals of justice, leadership, and organized resistance against evil. Leia, being a moral center and leader of a rebellion, would align with the Sacred Order's lore and Crusader themes. She's more strategic than she is shadowy rebel, and her diplomatic core fits better here than, say, the High Elves or the Bannerlords. So what do you guys think? Is Sacred Order a good fit for her? And they have a nice little lore snippet for her too. Once royalty, forever a symbol, Leia defied tyranny not with brute strength, but with conviction and cunning. Born of noble blood, yet forged in resistance, she now stands among the Sacred Order, her words as sharp as her blaster. A leader, a warrior, and a beacon of those who dare to hope. Love it. I love that tiny little snippet there. So here's her abilities. They have her A1 being precision shot. So it attacks one enemy with a 40% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. And by booking it, we can upgrade it to damage plus 10% and a debuff chance of plus 15%. So they gave us a little animation flavor for this too, and said that in the animation, Leia will fire a blaster bolt with pinpoint accuracy. For her A2, we have it as Help Me Allies with a cooldown of 4 turns. So this ability heals all allies by 20% of her max HP and places a 30% increased defense and 15% continuous heal buff for 2 turns. The animation they have for this is a hologram style beacon rises from her wrist, rallying support across the battlefield. And we have a bookable cooldown for, -1 turn and a heal plus 10%. I actually kind of like that this time around with Leia. They kind of added some flavor for what the animations would look like on these. Because I can actually envision the hologram kind of coming off of her wrist, right? Her A3, we have Rebel Tactics with a cooldown of 5 turns. Removes all debuffs from all allies that places a block debuffs for 2 turns. Also fills the turn meter of all allies by 20%. So for this, the animation is Leia calls it a Rebel Strike Team. Energy pulse surges across allies and they regain momentum with a cooldown of 1 decrease 1 turn and turn meter fill plus 10%. Again, I love kind of how the animations would play out in your mind. And the passive for her is they gave A New Hope. That's kind of fitting, right? Whenever an ally's HP drops below 30%, places a 25% increased attack buff and a shield, equal to 10% of Leia's max HP on the ally for 2 turns, can activate once per ally every 3 turns. Now, they're saying that this represents her leadership, and how hope is rekindled under her watch, even when the tide turns grim. Kind of like what they did with her. And so with her aura, they have her as increases ally defense in all battles by 33%. She's the kind of leader that inspires troops across any terrain, arena, dungeons, or Doom Tower. And voice lines, and they are pointing out themed, not direct, Star Wars quotes, is they have her in-game voice lines being, "We fight because it's right. Stand up, stand together, and even the darkest empire can fall." I love it, guys. I think they did a good job, and I think that the designs that the AI came up with is fun as well, too. Let me know what you guys think for Leia. So that is Leia's. Let's go check out Han Solo. So similarly, I asked if Han was going to be in Raid, you know, what faction would he belong to, what would his kit be, and they had to make it fit. So they said if Han Solo was a champion in Raid Shadow Legends, he would seamlessly fit into the game's dark fantasy universe with being like a gritty outlaw edge, retaining his rogue charm, but adapted to Talaria's brutal tone. So this is what they gave him. As they said his name, they did Han Solon, Scoundrel Marksman. Interesting. They kind of added Solon instead of Han Solo, you know, but it still kind of jives, right? So they have him as a Scoundrel Marksman. Now, faction. They came with like a new faction. They did mercenaries. Now, they said this could be a new mini faction or subgroup within Bannerlord as kind of like a future free agent expansion. That's kind of cool. They're reimagining something. But they said alternatively, he would most naturally fit in with the Bannerlords, since obviously mercenaries is not a faction that we currently have. So they're saying Bannerlords, and he's going to be reimagined as a disavowed noble turned smuggler for hire, keeping with their lore of knights, aristocrats, and dishonor. Let me know what you guys think. Is Bannerlords a good fit for Han Solo? And this is what they have. They actually have as a legendary Void attack champion in the Bannerlords. They actually made him a Void. So for his visual styling, they envisioned a roguish gunfighter with a long coat, a shoulder-mounted Void blaster, and a sarcastic smirk. Think space cowboy meets post-apocalyptic bounty hunter. And his weapon is going to be this runic energy pistol designed to look like a crossbow hybrid to fit the fantasy theme, which is what we see here. So let me know what you guys think of the imagery as well. All right, skills, here we go. His A1 they call Lucky Shot. He always shoots first. Attacks an enemy and has a 50% chance to ignore shield and block damage buffs. It says if this attack kills the target, fills his turn meter by 25%. A2 is called Smooth Talking with a 3-turn cooldown. Never tell me the odds. Fun stuff that they're adding in here. Places a provoke debuff on 2 random enemies for a turn, and a 30% decrease accuracy debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Also places perfect veil on Han for a turn. A3, unlucky for you with a 4-turn cooldown. So this is outgunned but never outmatched. So this is an AoE, and the AoE has a 50% chance to place a stun for a turn. Places a 60% increased crit damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. And if cast under perfect veil, the skill ignores 20% of enemy defense. And as passive, we have Outlaw's Edge. He's been through worse, it says. Whenever this champion is attacked while under a buff, has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff on the attacker for 2 turns. Also heals this champ by 10% of max HP once per turn if under veil or perfect veil. And for his aura, they did increase ally crit rate in all battles by 19%. And here's this little like lore flavor text. I love that they do this. Once a decorated gunner and a noble house's elite guard, Han Solo vanished into the underbelly of Talaria, trading honor for coin and laser-fast reflexes. He's fought through every pit fight, spaceport siege, and Warlord's debt collection squad the realm could throw at him. These days, he only fights for those who pay, or those who remind him of the man he used to be. I like it, guys. What did you guys think about for Han Solo? And those of you guys that are watching this, you're like, okay, we did Leia, we did Han. What about Chewbacca? You know? Well, I feel like Chewie's kind of a given, and they probably would put him into the Skinwalkers is what I'm thinking. But drop me a comment down below if you would like me to do one of these AI concepts for Chewbacca, and let me know who else you would like to see. I know one of the most popular, most requested is like Mandalorian and Grogu kind of together, very similar to like Ultimate Death Knight and Mr. Nibbles. Like that one's a very, very highly requested one. I think Rey was also another one that was really requested as well too. So let me know what you guys think. Drop me some comments down below. And how are you enjoying this whole AI concept art of a Star Wars Raid Shadow Legends crossover? I've really been enjoying this and I hope you guys as well too. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.